Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tasha. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. If it's your first time tuning in, thank you. Hi, welcome. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. Alright. No periodic table, no alien talk. Okay, however, y'all already know the creator came through with a message. Alright. So I was actually thinking about this, and then the creator gave me a small download last night, and then it got confirmed earlier today. Really early in the morning, like before 10. That's not really early, but it was early in the morning, okay? Don't come over here questioning me, alright? But if you have animals, if you have had animals, your relationship with those animals and how you treated those animals is a part of your karma. I know a lot of people don't really believe in reincarnation and karma and, you know, the different energies and frequencies that you put out come back to you. But something that doesn't seem important, like the care and nurturing that you provide to an animal, is really, really essential, okay, to your soul's growth. Especially if it was something that you know, was given to as a child, something that was used to build up your responsibility, you know, your level and your ability to take care of things and be attentive and all of that good stuff, right? A lot of people have had really long relationships with animals. I mean, a lot of us can look back at our childhood and think about the family pet, right? There may have been some animals, more than one, different breed, right? Multiple breeds, rather, that we could probably think about looking back and say, oh yeah, I remember that. I was scared of that dog. That dog bit me. That dog, everybody loved that dog. Grandma loved that dog. You know, that cat was crazy. That cat saved the family. I hated that dog. I used to beat that cat up. I kicked it out. Whatever, right? Whatever your relationship was, however you imagine those things, is an initial, especially if it was before the age of 12, okay? Specifically because our shield is kind of like dropped around 12 coming into 13. Once we start coming through those adolescent years and we get to like preteen and teen years, we start becoming a little bit more responsible for ourselves spiritually, right? For the debt that we start to rack up karmically. So if it was before that age, if you're thinking of a time before that age, your relationship with that animal will give you an idea of what type of relationship the warfare has caused you as an adult, okay? Now, if you've come to a waking age where you have the ability to care for something in a more mature manner, good or bad, this too is an indication, right? A pure depiction of your relationship with the spirit world. Not even your ancestors, okay? The spirit world. And how you decided to interact and engage with said animal. Doesn't matter the species. We are all God's creations, okay? It's going to determine a really big portion of your karma. And one of the main reasons for that is because your animals are also your purpose mates. They're also your soulmates. They're also there to assist with cultivating your frequency. And remember, we talked about how some animals are souls that are new to the realm and they're ascending, or they're old to the realm and they're ascending, or they've been here for a while and they haven't, quite reached the levels that they need to, so they descend and have to go back. Some people even cross over and they descend and they have to become something like a pet or like a slave to a crazy human being, whatever the karma may be, right, that is associated with that. Again, your ability to remember even what that relationship was like is really a clear depiction of A, your karma, and B, the relationship you have with the ethers. Now, if you are too young to remember these interactions and you only have like pictures or stories, then that also is a great indication of the relationship that you hold with the spirit realm, not just your ancestors. Remember, demons, angels, aliens, everybody has access to the spiritual realm. It's just the space and area where all of our frequencies can be observed from a different dimension. Okay. And I would like to also include that these other dimensions are also accessible by way of the realms, meaning no matter what timeline or dimension you're coming from or on, you have access to that same spiritual realm that everyone else does. Okay, that's important, because a lot of people, they're thinking of like space and outer space, under space, whatever you want to refer to it as. But no, we're talking about the spiritual realm, okay? The spaces and places where all of our energy dwells, where extensions of ourselves dwells, okay? A lot of this stuff is really, really important to your soul's growth and your ability to really just tap in. Now, there are different lessons that you would have to attribute and associate with different animals, okay? Especially if some of them are caged, some of them are not, some of them can be domesticated or whatever. Meaning, how can you train them? What type of energy and lessons and memories can you create with these animals, right? Some animals you don't train. Like, you don't train a fish, you don't train a hamster, so to speak. You don't train a lizard, you don't train a snake. You can train a bird to a certain extent, right? You can train a dog, you can train a cat, you can train certain animals. So the type of animal also is a great piece of information and insight that will also help you get a little bit more understanding of your spiritual journey, okay? Your ability to dwell and communicate is going to be, kind of determined by the type, okay, of animal that you have had the luxury of spending time with. The length of time is also key, okay? Your ability to maintain a nurturing relationship where you are primarily providing care and you are not very much getting anything in return, not anything tangible anyway, is another aspect. There are several factors here, and these are just a few of the main ones, because we have a lot of different things that give us insight into this dimension. And because we're in this earthly realm, right, filled with water, everything's just one big reflection. Remember, we talked about reflections and things like that. So your ability to take anything spiritual away from any experience, it doesn't matter the experience. If you can take anything spiritual away from anything, it is going to be useful for you later on in your ability to interpret and comprehend your spirituality. And as it stands right now, You don't necessarily owe anyone anything, right? And I mean on a physical level, when you are thinking of your journey and things like that. But spiritually speaking, you have a job, you have a duty, you have a responsibility to keep track of all of your activities, right? In the spirit, you are responsible for being aware of how strong your spirit is going to be. Like, once God gives you a certain responsibility and you're aware of that responsibility, okay? Because it's one thing to not know that God is saying, hey, I want you to do X, Y, and Z. And then there's this, okay, I know what God is putting on my heart and I need to put it in motion. Once you get to that level where you are pretty sure that God is giving you a responsibility, you need to start putting things in motion. And this is why age has a lot to do with it. Because once you hit that 12, 13-year age, you are starting the beginning of being able to discern people, places, things. You start picking up on different frequencies around that time. And I mean, religiously speaking, not even just me rambling on, but religiously speaking, if you look at different sacred religious texts, different cultures, different traditions, this age is an area where a lot of changes, a lot of rituals, a lot of different things start to occur, like right around that age of adolescence. And I think it's important because adolescence can start anywhere from 7 and 8 and come into 12 and 13. And that's like that preteen area. Once you're 13, technically you're a teenager, right? So, yeah. And not to mention that some of our animals are our spirit guides. They're our ancestors watching over us. They're our soul and purpose mates. So if you mistreat or don't know how to healthily and successfully build a relationship with them, then you might be in trouble. It's really important. I'm sorry. I got a bit distracted, but yeah, you have to be prepared for learning how to care for things. And these animals, hopefully, you've had a little practice before you start going out into the world, dealing with people and having children, right? Going into the workforce and things of that nature. It's a really good way to start building up your nurturing skills, your skills to be patient. Anything that goes into giving your energy into something that is going to grow and eventually leave you, right? And like I said, it could be a freaking piglet. It could be a little piglet. It doesn't matter. However you decide to distribute your energy and your frequency into anything, it needs to be God level. And if it's not going to be pure and genuine, then that means that the karma that you're going to get from mistreating that thing is not going to be good, okay? So, yeah, the gist of this conversation is to be aware of how you've spent those first few years building those relationships, providing that care, learning routines and learning how to teach and learning how to maintain things. It's lying in those little small interactions. And I know it sounds weird, but just like, even I think we did a segment not too long ago about like stray cats and stuff like that. I think, yeah, it was a while ago. I don't really remember the name of the segment, but I believe it was it was a while back, but yeah, you get the gist of it. But I am going to end it here. I do hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. I hope you are resting well. I hope you are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your tea, because it is most definitely free. And I'm out of here. I love y'all. Peace.